I was talking to Chanel the other day. We were chatting about, different personalities and the way our brains work. And I was like, I really struggle to remember people's names in general, in public, like socially. Yet I can remember almost every fucking NPC in this nonsense made up thing that we've been doing for 3 or 4 years. Yet I will publicly embarrass myself when I can't remember someone's name who I met last week in real life. It is weird the way the human brain works.
I misspelled Myialtheshtealliac.
Shame on you.
How embarrassing.
For shame, sir. For shame.
It'd be like me not putting enough rosemary in a focaccia.
Wait till Chris Wragg gets back and he hears about this.
He will be livid. Wait till your dad gets home.
You know what a stickler Chris Wragg is for spelling. Matt spelled Belciar's surname. I won't even attempt to say it, never mind spell it. He spelled Belciar's surname wrong in the Adventurers Anonymous wiki.
No, not on the wiki, just now on Google. When I tried to Google it.
Oh, right,
yeah.
that's
okay.
lesser.
It's okay, it's not a permanent error.
Which one's more embarrassing to you? Killing Hunnarsh or misspelling your surname?
Probably killing Hunnarsh, because to be fair, it's a very long surname.
Okay. Right. We are running on with time, so let's pick back up with the action.
When you've killed your friend, you learn not to worry about the little things.
Yes, when you've committed fratricide, why sweat the small stuff?
That's what they say.
Right, picking back up with the action. Last we left off with our intrepid adventurers, they were dealing with the aftermath of the death of Hunnarsh in their own unique kind of way. And by they, I mean Belciar, really. Everyone else was an NPC. And, what better way to say goodbye to your dearest best friend who you had to kill yourself after they went on a murder spree than with blowing them up with 4 sticks of dynamite. And that's exactly what Belciar did. Spreading his friend over a wide area and truly celebrating him in a way that would have been appropriate. The only thing he forgot to do was remove half the infantry from his friend, accidentally spreading 6,000 gold coins in a wide radius, injuring not only himself, Aristobulus, and also killing 3 bystanders, bringing the full death count up to 67 villagers from Baden Knox. But what we're going to do, listeners, is rewind time a little bit and pick back up with your favourite gnome archer, Tatty Bojangles, who'd walked away from the village in a fit of misery, sadness, and melancholy. As he walks slowly to the edges of the wood line, we're going to pick up with him at the same time that we picked up with last week's episode. So, Mr. Bojangles, what are you doing exactly as you walk away?
I think my first thought while me and Barbara are out in the open near the church is to head for the tree line. I want to head into the woods. Is it morning-ish at the minute? Is that where we landed?
Yeah, about that, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the cold light of day doesn't feel good right now. I want to get under a canopy. I want to get into the trees. I want to retreat into the woods.
Okay.
I think if I see the tree line in front of us, then I will probably go from that slow sulking walk to hurrying up a bit to get to cover, get to somewhere that feels safe.
Okay. Yeah. It takes you 15 or 20 minutes to make it to the tree line as you walk away from the village. It's a long, slow, and emotional walk. The weight of your inventory, your backpack, your bow, which normally is negligible to you, feels like it weighs a ton, as the weight of the world on your shoulders weighs you down. As you walk slowly, finally, after a while, you make it to the edge of the tree line where there are shrubs and bushes, thickets, if you will, as you turn around and stare back at the village in the distance one last time.
Yeah. I'll look at the church and I'll give a very solemn salute to my dearly departed friend, and I'll continue on into the woods.
You turn and walk to the woods. As you go, something's wrong. As you look down, you realise Barbara isn't with you. As you walk the 6 feet back out of the thickets, you see Barbara still standing there, to it, just staring back at the village.
I think I've still got Speak with Animals going from last session.
Yeah, we'll say you do. Yes.
I'm gonna walk up. If it's like she's kind of bolted herself to the spot, basically.
Yeah.
I think I'll walk over and just like kneel down in front of her. Just give her some like chin scritches, and just be like, hey. I'd just be like, hey, I know.
Are the others not coming hunting with us? I can't remember what accent Barbara is.
She's got a very raspy voice. She's got a voice a bit like Ray Winston.
Alright, let's fucking go.
There you go. That's it. Use it.
I've never kept an accent going at any time in my life.
For the time being, listeners, Chris Wragg has decided to voice Barbara, a wise choice to feel his spirit having ascended up into heaven, waiting for his next manifestation into a character. He's going to take residency in Barbara.
I'm here.
Just to delight Mr. Neal.
I'm calling it now that the difficulty of doing a Ray Winston-like voice over a long period of time is that it will very, very quickly turn into a Batman voice. And I'm really looking forward to it. I'll just kneel down in front of Barbara, just give her some chin scritches, just to see what she's saying, and just say, "Yeah, I know. We gotta go. We just gotta leave them be."
Where are we going?
Not gonna lie to you, I don't know. You know, I kind of like turn around and gesture to the tree line in front of us. Just say, honestly, I aimed for what felt familiar. This isn't new territory for us. Just hanging out, surviving in the wilds.
Surviving, not thriving. I get you.
You do get me. I'll give her another little chin scritch, and I'll like turn around to walk to the tree line and see if she starts following.
Yeah, Barbara follows and kind of circles around you and goes through legs and stuff like that. Yeah, all right.
No. Whoa. I don't want to ruin this magical moment between the two of you. Let's just remember our size here. You're not Pooh and Piglet. You're Tatty and Barbara. Barbara is about the same fucking size as Tatty. If you went between Tatty's legs, he'd be riding on your back. I mean, I'm here for it.
That's true, actually, yeah. She is quite big.
It's like when you see like a dog trying to go into something that's like weight, like it's going to struggle and its like legs just go flat and it's like, it's like that. Ballard basically knocks Tatty over, but with enthusiasm and in kinship.
No.
I roll around on the ground and just I feel that the extreme bodily sensations of being quite hungover and needing food quite a lot. And I get up and just dust myself off and I say, should we head in? Maybe see about getting some breakfast. See if we can catch something.
Sounds good to me.
As the pair of you make your way deeper into the woods, you've had a moment with each other, which you needed, Tatty. You needed to make a connection with someone who isn't judging you. You feel particularly judged for everything that's happened, and you know Barbara loves you unconditionally and accepts you, and the mere fact she opted to come with you despite everything she's seen and known means a lot to you. As you go to turn and walk away deeper into the woods, you jump clean off your feet as you hear a massive explosion behind you, back in the direction of the village you've come from.
Well, that must be Hunnarsh exploding.
Just the like super casual, off the cuff nature of that line. Just like, well, that's Hunnarsh exploding. I think I probably do actually. I'd turn around and just like give a slightly more like definitive and decisive salute. I kind of like whisper to myself, just you went out like you always wanted to, in a blaze of glory, and probably taking a lot of people with you.
As you look around, gold coins raining out of the sky into the woods, half a mile away. No, I'm joking. That would be awesome. That'd be absolutely.
It's like a fucking shrapnel grenade.
Yeah. Make me a dexterity saving throw, Tatty. No, I'm kidding. As you walk deeper into the forest, you see Barbara is conflicted. She both wants to stay with you, but she's also aware of the woodland animals. As you see a rabbit startled out of a bush, its white tail darting off, hopping through the woods. As Barbara looks up at you and looks back, staying by your side for the time being as you push deeper into the forest.
I think at first I don't even like really notice that that she's trying to stay on my heels or like at my side. But I think when we see like maybe the second or third one and I see her give me the puppy eyes, I'll give her the nod and go on.
Let's go.
Go get it.
I try and like chase a screw up a tree.
Okay. Who's got a wolf stat? Let me get a dire wolf stats. I know, Chris, you had some for...
I've got them somewhere because they're not direwolf stats. They are actually like a beast companion stats.
Dig them out.
Yeah. Do you want me to roll? Just let me know.
Well, I thought it'd be fun to let Chris Wragg roll, being that he's at an impasse.
Works for me.
If you tell him what the modifier is, I need you to make me a dexterity. A pure dexterity check, let's say.
The modifier is +5.
Whoa, fuck me.
15.
Well, the good news is the rabbit rolled real bad. So, you charge after the rabbit, dodging and weaving, snaking from side to side, vanishing under a bush at one point, bursting back out as the rabbit tries to run inside a rotted log. You're a hunter, Barbara. You were born to kill. As you charge around the other side of the log and waiting as the rabbit bursts out the other side of the rotted log, you snap down with your jaws as the rabbit goes limp in your mouth. You can feel the rush of warm blood in your mouth.
And then I'll like kind of drop it at Chris's feet. What's his name? Tatty's feet.
I think I'll just assume that this one has no meat left and that she just ragged it completely, limb from limb. I'll start looking for something else. I'll start looking to see if there's any like other animals around that we can kill and like take back to a camp and like cook something up for some breakfast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as you look down, you see Barbara's brought you back these slightly like drawn out and broken body of the woodland rabbit. It's a hare. As Barbara's brought it back in the same fashion as a cat would bring back the broken form of a mouse and lay it at your feet, thinking that it was doing something like, as a gift. There's not really too much you could do, even with your advanced campcraft, Tatty. You're barely going to get much meat off the body of that hare after Barbara has taken her pound of flesh, metaphorically. As you look around, I need you to make me an investigation check, please. Or you can make me a nature check. Probably a nature check as well. You're in your element.
Do you want me to do both?
It's up to you.
I got a 19 for investigation.
Of course you did.
And a dirty 20 for nature.
Nice. You see two things simultaneously. You hear it first. You center yourself, closing your eyes, you listen for for the sounds of nature. And the first noise you hear is a low buzzing noise as you follow it to the base of a tree trunk, and looking up, high up on the edge of a branch, you see a bee's nest. As you see various bees buzzing around it, you're aware that there's a source of energy and sugar in a bee's nest. As you look up, it's about 12 feet up and on the edge of a branch, where a branch meets the trunk of a tree. And as you look over, you also see in the woods where you are, you've gone deep enough that there's the beginnings of a clearing with a small body of water, a large pond, if you will.
I'm gonna look up at the beehive rather than trying to scavenge anything from it. It will just make me think of the friends that I've left behind. But I will very quickly distract myself from that fact by putting my survival brain back on and being like, beehives are way more trouble than they're worth. Fucking bees. I'll just move on. Try and find something with a bit more meat on the bone that me and Barbara can take out. But I'll probably take a look at this clearing. I'll probably, like, when I see it, I'll probably, like, one side of my brain will kind of immediately be like, all right, okay, it's a source of water. Let's go check it out. That's another resource that we can use. So I think, yeah, I'll probably just have a look around, see if there's anything around this clearing.
On the roll that you got, both of them were, pretty high. The two things you know for certain, you can see various tracks. Now, the edge of the pond, if you will, the large body of water, are very muddy, and you can see animal tracks in them. So you know that there is wildlife nearby. And as you look over, you can also see there are fish. You can see the ripples on the water from where the fish are coming to snap at the mosquitoes who are low over the surface of the water. So you're aware there's both fresh meat in the fish and also some kind of animal that you can only assume, looking at the tracks, are more hares are nearby. As you look over at Barbara, who's got blood over the front of her white pelt on her mouth, she's just hungrily snapping at the bones of the creature she brought back.
I'll take her over to the water, see what she makes of the fish. We could just let her splash around a little bit if she wants to. Yeah, I don't really have things to fish with, but I could hang back like a good 60 feet away and just wait to plink one in the eye with an arrow or something.
You've got some dynamite, right?
Wow.
From the surface. I've got some dynamite. I could probably do something with that, but I'm kind of about, keeping the woods fairly peaceful at the minute. I'll let Barbara splash around in the water, like, regardless of, like, trying to get us any food, just, like, give her some time to play around if she wants to.
Mr. Wragg, what are you doing?
It's nice to cool off. Get some of this blood and viscera off me. Put my snout in the water.
As an apex predator, the moment you leap into the water, you are acutely aware that a lot of wildlife around you is now aware of you, as you feel the fish swimming away from you, as you just enjoy a gentle moment of playfulness in the water, washing, cleaning, splashing. You look over, Barbara, back at Tatty, who's just sitting forlornly on the bank of the pond, staring at you.
I come out really quickly, so I get Tatty a bit wet.
I'll let her run around and shake herself dry. Maybe I'll try and keep this clearing in my mind as a possible place to make camp later. I might just do a little bit of exploring in the area around it just to see if we can find any animals immediately. Otherwise, I might just set up here and set up some snares or something just in case any animals run through,
Yeah.
smaller animals.
Sure. Maybe a nature check if you want to set up snares.
That's a 6.
A 6.
I do that thing where someone tries to tie a knot in something. I make one of those little tiny little rope traps that has like a loop in the end of it, and then when something steps in it, it like pulls up. But I like I tie the note wrong, tie the knot wrong, and then I pull on it, and it just like immediately untangles. I'm like, man, maybe I'm rusty.
Yeah. You realize you've been relying for quite a long time. As much as you have many skills in campcraft, as much as you've spent years of your time in the Gnome military training to live in the wilderness, you have become somewhat accustomed to tavern life. Over the last few years, you've had more than a few sleeps in a soft feather bed with a bowl of stew and a thick cob of bread. You realize perhaps some of your skills have got a bit soft.
I give Barbara like a very worried look, just like maybe we're just indoor kids now.
Brave for yourself.
Maybe we're not good at this anymore. I immediately like try and get my senses up around me to see if I can find an animal that we can hunt.
Yeah. Make me a investigation check. And you can make one as well with advantage, Barbara, if you like.
I got a 25.
Fucking hell.
That's big. That's big money,
That's
baby.
Vegas.
That's Vegas. That's Vegas.
What did you
baby.
get, Barbara?
12.
12. Barbara's still splishy splashy. In her mind, Barbara's still at the water park, just gidding around on the edge of the pond. Whilst you're trying to make traps, Barbara has eaten about 3 fish. Barbara is incredibly well fed. As you don't see this, Tatty. You're too busy tying knots that accidentally end up tying to your own shoelaces. At one point, you dig a hole in the ground with spikes in it to try and catch something. As you pat it down, trip and fall into it, nearly impaling your own foot. As with that roll, you hear a snapping of twigs in a bush nearby, instantly going alert to the direction that you heard the noise.
I'm gonna crouch down and try and if I can try and get Barbara's attention, so that she comes over to me, because the water's gonna make a lot of noise, and then I'll start looking for whatever's caused that noise, that like snapping of twigs.
Yeah. You get nearer and nearer. You hear more and more of a kerfuffle. You manage to pin it down to one particular area of shrubland as you both bring yourself closer and closer, quieter and quieter. Make me a stealth check. The pair of you.
I got an 18.
Me, I got an unmodified 3, so I can imagine I'm going to fail regardless. Unless I'm...
Barbara's modifier is a +5, so that's a solid 8 for...
A solid 8 for Barbara. Tatty, you are being stealthy as you like. Hunting in the bush. You think, looking at the occasional track you can see and a tuft of fur left on the floor, you're trailing another woodland hare. As you turn to look for Barbara, you can't see her. As you hear a thrashing noise and a howl, you spin around and realize, as bad as your traps are, Barbara has managed to get herself caught in one of them.
Oh?
As you see Barbara hanging by one leg from a snare off a branch of a tree.
I'll scurry back and just like shake my head at like the knot was so bad when I was trying to set it up for another animal, but apparently it's held up for this one wolf's leg, and I'll just like kind of like fish a paw out of it. That thing that like dogs do when you like hold up one paw and they just like
Yeah.
I'll just like fish it out of there and just like put it back on the ground and then just pat her on the back.
With all of that, you are exhausted. The day is getting on. You've tried to box off and compartmentalize your emotions. They're there, and you can feel them gnawing away at you. But the day is getting on. The hunger is getting the better of you. As you look over at Barbara, it's hard to feel annoyed at her. She's such a constant and caring companion, even in her complete abject stupidity, getting herself hoiked up in one of your traps. As you hear a splashing noise, you look over the water and see a small trout is splashing at the edge of the water, leaping to try and catch mosquitoes, which are swarming over the surface.
I'm going to kind of like turn my head and look in the direction of like the animal tracks that we were following before. I'll look back at the pond and then look at Barbara, and I'll just be like, well, can't hurt to try, can it? If these fish are literally like trying to like jump out of the water to get these mosquitoes, I'm gonna try and shoot one.
I don't know, they're jumping high. They're not like flying fish, but you can see them. You know, you can see the ripples. You're well aware as a man of nature that, you know, the fish is there. Like you, as you see, you can see it's a lovely, reasonably lovely day, despite the massacre behind you. You can see through the sun coming in through gaps in the canopy, the shadow of the fish as they come to the surface of the water. They're quite big. They're a foot or more across. They're not small fish. They're a target, is what I'm trying to say, in a very unsubtle kind of way.
I think, yeah, if the pond's shallow enough, I'm probably going to give it a go at least once, just to see if I can get something. I mean, if Barbara's already eaten, that's like priority number one. I'd love to be able to get a bit of food for myself. I think I've probably got some rations left, but I'd love to try and keep them for a rainy day, so to say. Probably try and get one of them. If I can't do it, I might try and convince Barbara to just like grab one and bring it to me.
All right. Make me an attack with your bow.
I'll use steady aim to give myself advantage. That's 27 to hit.
Listeners, just out of interest, I've just pulled up the standard stats in D&D 5e for a fish. Something I didn't think I'd be doing. Yes, twice over. Well done. You have successfully fished with a bow and arrow. As you aim, waiting, holding your breath, waiting, as you hear the splash and see the fish come up to snap at a mosquito, letting loose the arrow flies true, skewering the fish. As you see it flail and flap as it rises to the surface, you see the feathers from the arrow just twitching as the arrow sits proud at the surface of the water, maybe some 15 feet out into the pond.
That's cool. Just give Barbara like a pat on the back and be like, go get it.
I love the fact you still got to speak. That's with speak with animals. She's just trolling you at this point.
Yeah. Remember, I go. Remember, that's my lunch, not yours. You've had 3 already.
Barbara spits out the belly-eating fish.
I'll get you another one. All right.
There you go, mate.
That's cool. I'll just give her like the head scritches as she comes and sits next to me, and I'll just start. I guess I'll just start like filleting this fish.
Very McDonald's. Yep, getting out your knife and just running it along the ridge line of the fish. I'm not going to pretend I know how to gut a fish, listeners. I'm not Chanel. She would be much better at this bit of the podcast than me. But yeah, you gut the fish, removing the entrails, and you debone the fish, and you manage to get a couple of fillets out of it, of what you would consider to be pretty meaty looking fish.
That's what we like to hear. I'll wrap them up in some like, what do you call it? Just like some spare like parchment or something that I've got, and put them in my bag while I make a campfire.
You take a old book Aristobulus had given you about religion, and you just pull several of the pages out and wrap the fish in it.
Seeing the religious tome makes me think of Aristobulus. Like, I have that moment of sadness, but I also just automatically try and breeze through it. and carry on what I was doing. Just doing my jobs for the day. It feels like I've got back into my routine. Well, mine and Barbara's routine of just like being out in the wild. So I'll put the fillets away and I'll start gathering some wood for a fire.
Yeah, make me a nature check as you go looking for dry wood and kindling.
That is a 17.
17, yeah. I mean, you've done this before. You know what you're looking for. You want to be looking for bits of dry wood, which are not necessarily just lying on the floor, getting damp as you go around. A lot of it's coming back to you. It's almost like you filed away some of these skills. The soft living that you've spent for the last couple of years is slowly melting away, and a lot of the hard skills that you learned in the army are coming back to you. You can almost hear Skarl's voice in your mind's eye bellowing at you as you did some of your basic training.
I think in general, like that stern teacher voice that Tatty gets when he's doing certain things, like especially when he's like knocking an arrow before he fires it, or like when he's doing stuff to like find things when he's, you know, like out camping in the woods and stuff like that. That voice has always been Skarl's voice in the back of his mind. You know, like that internal monologue that you do when you're like telling yourself how to do something, or like that like telling off voice of like someone telling you that you're doing something wrong or reminding you to do something the right way, should I say. That is kind of Skarl's voice in his mind.
All of these things going through your mind.
Give me the voice, Danny. Anyone.
You want me to do the voice?
It's one of my favourite voices of our entire NPC. That's
Aww. Chanel hates the voice. Who's doing it? Why don't you do your best Skarl impression?
I'm thinking. I know exactly how to start it because I've taken the piss out of you so many times for doing it.
Starts with a raised eyebrow.
Bojangles, turn your body side on when you fire the arrow.
There we go. Perfect.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
See? One take.
10 out of 10, 11 out of 10. You can have Hunnarsh's XP that he wasn't using.
What about Barbara? Is she not going to level up?
There's all these things in your mind's eye, you softly hear the little voice. Bojangles, what have you done? As you look down, you're rubbing a piece of wood as smoke is rising out of bits of kindling, as you see sparks igniting in some dry moss that you were using to try and base the fire with. As you see things starting to catch, your mouth watering with the thought of cooked fish. Just the simple things right now really do appeal. As off to one side, you think you hear the gentle sound of laughter. Who needs special effects when you've got a Chris Wragg?
Just the world's best Foley artist.
Ha ha ha!
You and Wraggy are going to be doing like pickup sessions on this audio for ages, just to be like, so that's that laughter sound in the distance. That's just imagine you're a clown on meth and go.
Give it to me again, but from deeper in your diaphragm.
Give it to me again, but this time I want you to just throw it away. Just throw it away. Just like
amazing. Right, yeah. You're deflecting. What are you doing?
Hearing something, I'll drop the dried like twigs and wood that I've got in my hand, and I'll immediately go for my bow and just try and pinpoint where the sound's coming from.
It's coming from the water's edge near you. It's about 15 feet off.
Oh.
You've made camp just outside of the clearing on the edge of the water.
Oh. I'll look over at the pond and see if I can see anything from here. Did you say it was only about 15 feet away?
The water's edges, yes. Yeah. So you come to the edge of the clearing, still staying low, still staying stealthy. I need you to make me a perception.
Yes, sir. That is a nat 20.
Nat 20, bloody hell. That's impressive. You pinpoint instantly where it's coming from. The direction, the noise. That's very familiar to you, that noise. You've had that noise before.
Oh.
As you crawl slowly out of the bush, looking around, looking left, looking right, slowly making your way to the water's edge, waiting.
Maybe something occurs to me on a nat 20. When all the people died at the wedding, and I was looking for signs of the people that had like moved or were like moving into the afterlife, and saw those kinds of like thin wisps of smoke and stuff like that. I didn't have the presence of mind to look for Hunnarsh after he died because I just ran away. I think if it's laughter, and based on nothing more than just the sound that Chris Wragg made when he did the laughter sound, I'm not assuming that it's Hunnarsh, but I think because it's just me and Barbara here, I think I'll take the risk and I'll just go. I think I'll walk a bit closer to like the water's edge and just be like, Hunnarsh?
As you walk slowly, somewhere with almost trepidation, but also intrigue as you hear the laughter so familiar to you. Your sense of danger and fear washing away as you walk to the water's edge, looking out across it as the day is getting on, the evening is setting in. You kneel down and look, hearing the laughter so clearly. You look down at your own face reflected up at you in the rippling waters, at the pond, the laughter getting louder and louder. After a second, the image of your face melting away into a pool of red swirling water. You look down and you see a familiar face looking at you. A red demon in a pinstripe suit, as Jerry says, Yes. Yes. Bojangles.
Oh, now he wants to talk.
And that is where we are going to leave this week's episode.
Nice.
Yes. I want AJ to roleplay. You don't have to do it right now. I just like this in my imagination. I want AJ to roleplay a conversation between Jerry and Scarl. Just going, yes. Yes.
Yeah, sure. You want to pay for my therapy? Absolutely.
With a link to AJ's Lonely Man's page in the episode description.
Did you come up with that? That's very good.
That went from OnlyFans to OnlyMans to Lonely Man. It's very incel. Very incel.
I saw it somewhere. I don't know where we got it from. It was either we were talking about it and we called it Lonely Man's, but I'm sure I didn't make it up myself.
I don't know. Not a clue, but, get out there and copyright. Trademark it before someone else does. They will steal it. OnlyMans. No place for that in today's society. Right, there we go, listeners. We're going to leave it on that note. Bloody hell. Jerry wasn't done. Apparently, some things are not finished. So we'll pick back up with that next week, listeners. But in the meantime,
stay tipsy. Oh, too early.
How dare you? We haven't. What? No. What? Unbelievable. Seriously, you can't. What you?
There's an order to things.
Yeah.
Matthew.
Yeah.
Matthew.
Jesus Christ, Matthew. Right, before we let you go, we just want to say a massive thank you for tuning in for another dollop of fun-packed fantasy fuck nuggetry. It's getting serious, isn't it, listeners? Bloody hell, it's all getting highbrow and melancholic and like, ooh. Now, seeing as you made it this far, why not hit that subscribe button and never miss another episode of this peak drama ever again? Better yet, if you feel like mourning, why not give us a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you are on? All of your reviews and recommendations go a really long way towards proving to Chris Wragg how much you really miss Hunnarsh. And quite frankly, it does mean the world to us. Let us know. Let us know what you think.
Leave your Hunnarsh eulogies in your review.
Absolutely. Seriously, I swear to God, if anyone leaves a eulogy on a podcasting platform and proves it to us, we will read it out. And that's not just an empty lie.
You heard it here first.
You did. Absolutely. That's an exclusive. Something tells me Catman Jones will be the first person to do it.
Tell us what voice you want it to be read in as well.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
Only from existing voices. No new voices. Only existing voices.
Yeah. Name the NPC or the previously used accent of AJ's that you want him to read out the eulogy in.
God.
Hashtag Scarl.
Nope. As long as it won't get me cancelled. I'll
Yeah,
do
it's
any
gotta be
accent
Scarl.
as long as it won't get me cancelled. All right. Them the rules.
West of the Rhine and north of the Mediterranean is safe.
Basically, yeah. Sounds about right. Name of the episode.
Jesus.
Right. You send us a eulogy for Hunnarsh. Tell me what voice you want me to read it in. I'll read it for you and name check you. How about that, listeners? Cannot say fairer than that. Right. If you fancy chatting to us about anything you've heard across the course of this episode, your best bet is to contact a priest. Nope. Don't know why I said that out loud. Your best bet is to find us on Twitter, or as these days the cool kids are calling it, X, where you can find us at Adventurers ANO #1. But you can also find us on Instagram and Facebook and Christian Mingle and God knows, Gumtree. Fuck knows, we're on all of them.
Oh, we got approved. We got approved on the prayer board.
We got approved on a prayer board from what? The Catholic Church?
No? Christian Mingle? Is that not what it is?
I don't know, isn't it?
Is it a real thing?
Yeah, Christian Mingle's like I got to be careful now. We really will get cancelled. Isn't it like a dating app for Christians?
I'll get you.
Yeah, don't go after the Christians.
I mean, to be fair, it's the Buddhists you got to watch. They look chill. It's always the quiet ones. It's always the quiet, reflective ones. Right. Anyway, now that we've finished character assassinating 7.8 billion people, let's get back to it. Yep, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Just have at it. You'll find us and leave us a nice memory for Hunnarsh. So that just leaves me time to say a huge goodbye from Mr. Chris Wragg, voice of Barbara.
See you there, beautifuls. You're gorgeous. Don't forget, you're gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. It's a massive goodbye from a man who's been somewhat quiet in this episode as he reflects on his actions. Mr. Matt Durrant.
Stay tipsy.
Can't tell whether you're crying or wanking. What was that? Was that a crank?
Oh, you'll know when I'm cry wanking.
Nobody ask what he means by that. Nobody ask.
No one ask.
I'm glad you've asked because I think that is actually a word, and we'll talk about that in.
Because you'll get his newsletter, which will inform you of the live. Yeah.
Truly is. Truly is. Cry wanking is a real word.
Yeah, cranking. Yeah, cry wanking. Right. And, yep, you've heard him. It's a massive goodbye from the Wordsmith. The Wordsmith? What the fuck am I talking about? It's a massive goodbye.
Wordsmith.
Shut up. Shut the fuck up. I'm not even editing out the podcast, listeners. I'm leaving it in. It's a massive goodbye from the Wordsmith himself, Mr. Chris Neal.
Look, it's been a tough one this evening, listeners. If there's anything you wanna talk about, just feel free to hit us up with any of your questions or your concerns. Like AJ said, you can also reach out to Christian Mingle. You can also ask Weight Watchers. They're schooled in how to deal with these kinds of things. But above all, stay grieving for Hunnarsh.
Stay grieving.
Stay greening.
Come on then, people. Let's pull it together. Whatever you get up to this week, listeners, remember, stay Something happened. I'm not sure what it was. Yeah, fine.
That's my THX status.
Stay grieving. Right, adventurers out.